पार्थाय प्रतिभूरितं भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणि भगवते अष्टादशाध्यायिनि अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवरवेशिनि नमोऽस्तु ते व्यास विशालविन्दे कुलारविन्द्रायतपत्रनेत्रः येन त्वया भारततैलपूर्णः प्रज्वालितो ज्ञानमयप्रदीपः प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणे ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दुग्धगोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वात्स सुधीर्भोक्ता दुग्धां गीतामृतं महत् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवके परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरु। भीष्मद्रोण तथा च ददजला गन्धारनीलोत्पल शल्यग्राहवती कृपेण वह्नि कर्णेन विलाकुला अश्वत्थामविकर्णघोरमकरा दुर्योधनावर्तिनी सुतीर्णा खलु पाण्डवै नरनरे कैवर्तक केशव पाराशर्यवच सरोजममलम् गीतार्थगन्धोत्कटं नानाज्ञानककेसरं हरिकथा सम्पूर्णभूरितं लोके सज्जनशतपरैरहरः पेपेयमानमुदा भूयार्भारतपङ्कजं कलिमला प्रज्वलं श्रियं श्रेयसे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुर्मन्त्रिभिः वीरैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदै गायन्त्यं सामगा दानावस्थिततर्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्त्यं योगिनो यस्यान्तं न विदुसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। On this beautiful night, as we worship our Lord Bhagavan Shri Krishna, it is said, while many people will live in the world and while many will leave, to those who are still alive, we are here to receive the darshan of our Lord, to receive the blessings, to receive the inspiration, the motivation, the driving force to once more stand up every day and to keep going. And in order to receive that strength, we pray to none other than Bajrangabali, Mahavir Swami. Bhuta Pisacha Nikat nahi avai, Mahavir jab nama sunavai. Pranamste Shri Hanuman. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raj Nijamana Mukura Suraj Varna Raghuvara Vimala Jasu Jodaya Kupalacha Buddhi Natanu Janike Sumira Pavana Kumar Balabuddhi Vidya De Mohi Aru Kalesha Vikar Jai Hanuman Jnana Guna Sagar Jai Kapesh Teho Loka Ujagar Ramadutta Tulka Baladhama Ajani Putra Pavana Sutanam Mahavira Vikaram बजरंगे कुमति निवास सुमति के संगे कचन वरन विराट सुवेशा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केसा हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा विराज काने जनेऊ साजय शंकर सुवन केसरे नंदन निज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को अरसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम राधे गोविंदा। While we pay salutations to Mahavir Swami, we say, Lord, you are the Lord of strength. You are the embodiment of strength, and we pay our adorations to you. Sukshma Rupa Dhari Siya Hidikava Vikata Rupa Dhari Lanka Jarava Bhima Rupa Dhari Asura Sahare Ramachandra ke Kaj Savar Laye Sajeevan Lakhan Jaye Shri Raghuveer Har Shiura Laye रघुपति की भी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतई समभाई ससवदन सहसवदन तुम रोज सगावे अस कई श्रीपट कंठ लगावे सर्गादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीषा नारद शारद सहित अहिसा यम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कवि कोविद कह सके कहाते तुमो पुकार सुग्रीव किन्हा राम मिलाय राज पर दिए हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम तुमरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय तब जग जाना युग सहस्र योजन पर भानु लीलता ही मधुर बल जानु प्रभो मोद्रिका मिल मुख माही दर्द लांगी गए अचरज नाई दुर्गम का जगत के जेते सुगमानुग्रह तुम्हारे देते राम द्वारे तुम रखवारे हो जन आज्ञा फिर पैसारे सब सुकला है तुम्हारे शरणा तुम रक्षक का हो डरना आपण तेज समारो आप तीन लोग आंकते का पै भूत पिशाच कट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम बोले नासै रोग हरय सब पीरा जपति निरंतर हनुमत वीरा संकट ते हनुमान चुरावै मर्गम वचन ध्यान जो लावै सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा जिनके काज सकल तुम साजा और मनोरथ जो कोई लावै सोई अमित जीवन पल पावै चारु युग परताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा साधु संत के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलार अष्ट सिद्धि नव निधि के दाता सबर दे जानकी माता राम रसायन तुम्हारे पास हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण राम नाम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे राम तुम सुमरे भजन राम को पावे, जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे, अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाय, जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाय। और देवता चित्त न डरहि, हनुमत से सर्व सुख करहि, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरय हनुमत बलबीर। जय 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 हनुमान गोसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। दुष्ट बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंदी महासुख होई। जोया पर हनुमान चालीसा, होय सिद्धि साके गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरिचेरा, ही जयनाथ हृदय महादेव। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, राम राम हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, राम राम हरे हरे। पवन तनय संकट हरना, मंगल मूर्ति रूप, राम लखन सीता सहिता, हृदय बस हो सुरभु। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। On this beautiful night, we have come together, gathered in his beautiful home, to join in prayer, to join in devotion, to reflect on Bhagavan Shri Krishna, Lord of life. And we say, Lord, we don't need to speak anything. We don't need to say anything. In a home where we've lost a great one, we don't need to say anything at all. But you know our hearts, you know our mind, you know our consciousness. And tonight we will sing beautiful bhajans to reflect on the name of the Divine Lord. For it is said, when the soul is about to begin a beautiful journey, the soul waits for motivation. And motivation means hearing the chants of the name of Prabhu. For wherever the soul may travel, whichever path that soul will take, it is said Bhagavan will walk with that soul. Bhagavan will take that soul in his hands, in his chariot. As long as his name is being heard and chanted, we join tonight in beautiful chants. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jai Girivaradhari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunjavihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunjavihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunjavihari. यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनारंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनारंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनारंजन, यशोदानंदन ब्रज जनारंजन। यमुना तीरवनचारी, यमुना तीरवनचारी, Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Panduranga. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjan, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjan, Yamuna Tera, Yamuna Tera, Yamuna Tera, Vanachari, Yamuna Tera, Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari, Jaya Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Vihari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari. Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari, Jai Radha Madhava, Jai Kunja Vihari. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. In one of our beautiful Upanishads, at the name of the Katha Upanishad, it is one of the sacred texts that deals with death and what happens at death. Many people do understand where Garud Puran is one of the scriptures that we understand what takes place when someone dies. If you want to find all the knowledge about what happens when somebody departs and what happens to the soul and what takes place when the soul leaves the body and the exchange of the bodies and everything in depth with the soul, the Atma and this physical body, then you dive into the golden pages of the Garud Puran. But Katha Upanishad is a very unique text. It is one that deals with a little boy at the age of 5, who is 5 years old. And 5-year-old child, he decides to follow the footsteps of his father, where one day he sees his father performing so many meritorious acts and beautiful deeds. The father will go to the yagya halls, he will go to the places of worship, he will go to the different mandirs and the yagya shalas. And he will give dan, and he will give charity, and he will give money, and he will give wealth to ensure that everybody is happy and everybody is contented. He was rich and he had so much. But his child who is looking on notices something that he doesn't like. He sees that his father gives, but when his father gives, he gives by also holding back. It is said when you give, you never hold back, but you give your all. You give your best. You give whatever you can to the best of your ability. And the message says that this little boy looks at his father, and children will put an icon to their parents. Exactly how their parents are, they will want to be like that. They will want to walk in the same footsteps. They will want to live in such a manner and reenact the lifestyle of a parent, a mother or a father. And the son looks at his father and he says in his mind, why is it that when my dad gives, he gives, but he gives by holding back? What does the father do? The father is about to perform a yajna. And when you do prayers and when you do puja or daily life or daily living, when you give to someone, when you give to people, when you give to the people of the world, when you give to a mandir, when you give charity, when you give dan, when you give wealth, in turn, it is said that by giving these things, you will look forward for the blessings and the guidance of the gods. However, he was one that when he was about to give, he had cows, and in order to give the cows, he would look for the thinnest cows. He would look for the smallest ones. He would look for the ones that are suffering. He would look for the animals that are not good to give away. He would look for the fruits that have now created the brown marks and the spots. And he will keep the best for himself. He will keep the good things for himself. And in turn, a son thinks, 5 years old, but if you're giving something for God, how are you giving it halfway when you should give it your all? In turn, the father prepares himself for the yajna. In life, do you prepare yourself for what comes? Every day comes and every day goes. People live their days thinking that they will last forever, but even the best will go, not so? We are here tonight to know that even the best will go. You can be good in health, you can be good in strength, you can have so much, you can acquire so much. But even then, the best will go, for when your time is called, it is called. He Pavana Parameshwar Meri Man hi man Sharma Maili Chadar और के कैसे द्वार तुम्हारी आओ द्वार तुम्हारी आओ हे पावन परमेश्वर मेरी मन ही मन शर्माओ मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे तूने मुझको जग में भेजा निर्मल कर दे काया आकर के संसार में मैंने इसको दाग लगाया जन्म जन्म की मैली चादर कैसे दाग छुड़ाओ मैली चादर ओढ़ के कैसे निर्मल वाणी आकर तुझसे नाम तेरा गाया नैन मूंद करा हे परमेश्वर कभी ना तुझको ध्याया मन वीणा की तारे टूटे अब क्या गीत सुना हो मैली चादर Today, friends, in our beautiful katha taken from Katha Upanishad, a 5-year-old boy turns to his father and says, "But dad, if you're doing a yagya, isn't it that you're supposed to give the best? Whether you're alive or whether you're not alive, you're supposed to give the best. When you're alive, you give to God the best that you can. You find the best fruits in an offering. You prepare your altar, your bedi to the best of your ability. You dress your altar beautifully. You live where you dress and you treat yourself with the best of everything. And even when you die, it is said, God looks down with the soul on his side. The God of death stands next to that devotee, that individual who have left the world. And he says, where are your loved ones now? Let me see. Let me see what they will do. You know, there's a saying, when you're alive, when you call on people, there are certain people who will come and there are certain people who won't. When you die, you will see a mass of people. But at the same time, who are your true friends? Who are the people who will stand with you, as we say, through thick and thin? Who are your true friends? Who will smile with you? And who are your friends? Or who are the people who will laugh at you? You will only tell through the experience of life, and you will understand as time goes by. But a child says today that while you make an offering that and you're giving it to God, give it your best. The father says, you know something, you know what is the real and the perfect yagya for an individual? When somebody is doing a yagya and they reach a certain age, you know what is the right thing to do? You're supposed to detach from everything. You know what everything means? A man or a father is supposed to give up all attachments to wealth. He's supposed to give up house. Now it doesn't mean you pack up and you go in the forest and live. But you give up everything when it comes to house, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to prosperity, when it comes to physical things that you hold on to. You know, the morning I heard it from 103 on one of the chats. And when I heard of the passing of our brother, first thing came to mind. I was shocked. I was out of words for a few seconds. And I thought, wow, for a person of a beautiful status, is an example showing the world that you can have everything here. And if God says come, you have to leave everything right there. I thought about the house. And I've never been here before. I thought about probably a nice house, probably a nice vehicle, a band room, instruments, music, you name it, living the best, having the best, doing the best, and not out of ego, but out of humility and achieving the best. And at the same time, when your name is called, like this, drop it and just go. Leave it behind. Who will take care of it? Well, that is where God looks at you now. He looks with you and He says, who are your friends? In a time of need, who is there to support? In a time of strength, a hard time, a trying time, a time of trials, who is there to stand with you through it all? You know, like Salimji will sing, how many people will stand with you through it all? The days leading up to a funeral, the days leading up to a function, everybody come, everybody, yeah, what, let me hear. What do we have to do? What should be done? And when everything is completed, everybody goes back to their space. Everybody goes back to their home. And you will stand in your house, and you know what people say? Don't worry, it will be alright. You will be fine. You know what? I'm so sorry for your loss. Everything will be okay. And you might in that moment say, yes, okay, thank you, it will be fine. But when the gate is closed and everybody goes and you turn back to walk in your door and realize that you are the only one standing, only you would know rather, that no one else will be there. Today, friends, life can take you like this, and this is the example. You can have the best or you could not have the best. Do you remember that beautiful line of a very old song that says this? Raja rank ko ka nahi chinhata, Raja rank ko ka nahi chinhata. Raja rank ko, you could be a Raja king, Kala nahi chinhata. Kal, the god of death, doesn't identify what you have and what you don't have. You know what he identifies? Sabka karta. Sabka karta. What have you done with your life? That is what is important. Not what you have. What have you done? What are you doing with what you have? What are you doing? You know what? Bhaiji had a talent. And what did he do with it? He charmed the heart of every person. When we saw the funeral service, when we saw everybody who reached out, it wasn't about if he gave somebody some money or if he'd give a handout or whatever. But you know what? Sabka karta hai ahaar. What you did in your life to become who you are, that is important. That is the story behind your life. That is the story that revels around you. The story that simply says, Sabka karta ahaar. You know why? Because ek dina chutti jaye sansar. Because you only came here for one day. What are you going to do for one day? Are you bored? Are you tired? Are you fed up? Are you just sitting and wasting time? Are you sleeping half your life? Or are you getting up and get what you need to do? Change the world. Change you. Change life. Change situations. And as we take this moment, remember that life comes but once. And while you have it, enjoy it. Spend time with your loved ones. People have been talking about that, they commend you. Spend time with your loved ones. Spend time with your spouse. Spend time with the people who stand with you. Spend time with the people who really mean something to you. There are many fakesters outside there. There are many, as we say, fanatics outside there. There are many people who are smiling, but it's not real. Spend time with the people who's really there for you. That is important. That is what will count in the end of it all. Because when we hear that tune playing, when we hear that final sound, it is a sound that will fill the atmosphere and it will bring you down. Which song do we speak of? Koi lakh kare chaturai karam ka le kamite na bhai zara samjho इसकी सच्चाई रे करम का ले कमिते नाय भाई कोई लाख करे चतुराई. Thousands of people, thousands of people come in the world. And how they live? Sabka karta. They live by doing karta, actions. Koi lakh kare chaturai. But are they doing good actions, performing good deeds? What are you doing? Are you doing good deeds or are you taking bad ones? It says, Koi lakh kare chaturai karam ka le kamite na re bhai. What have you brought upon yourself? How you live is so you die. He didn't suffer, right? How you live is so you die. How many people lie on a bed for weeks and for months, probably having a disease, probably having a crisis, probably having some situation. I know with all the devotees who are tuned in on our life tonight, you may be wondering, well, if I'm suffering it, does it mean karma? Yes, it's part of karma. But how do you burn it? Lord Shiva says, if you think that you've been suffering for a time in your life where karma is now taking over your life, and you don't know how to just end it or get rid of it or ease it up, chant that mantra, Mahamrityunjay mantra. Trambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushyavardhanam urvarukameva bandhanan mrityurmokshya. It is a life-giving mantra. People don't know the benefits of this mantra. They feel it's a joke sometimes. Yeah, I know it. How much you say? Well, last time, Mahashivratri was last year. Yeah, last year Shivratri. Every day, that life-giving mantra, it's powerful. It fills you with life. When people want to feel strong and healthy, they get a good diet. They go to the gym. They try to have a good lifestyle, a healthy lifestyle. But the healthy is for the physical body. What about the healthy for the soul, which is that Mahamrityunjay mantra? That is what you need. Listen, while you live in the world, live it to the best. And fill that soul with all the healthy things like prayer and mantra and devotion. Because one day, we will leave everything behind. Koi लाख करे चतुराई करम का रे कमिते नारे भाई करम का ले कमिते नारे भाई जरा समझो इसकी चताई रे करम का ले कमिते नारे भाई करम का ले कमिते में भाग्य के आगे चलना किसी का उपाय, कागज हो तो सब कोई बचे, कर्म न बचा जाए। एक दिन किसी मत किसके कारण बंद हो गए तेरा गुराई रे, करम का रे कमी ते नारे भाई, करम का रे कमी ते नारे भाई। काहे मनवा धीरज कोता चाहे तो ना करो, अपना सोचा कभी नहीं होता, भाग्य करे सो हो। चाहे तो राजा चाहे भिखारी, घूमकर सभी ने यहाँ खाई रे, करम का रे कमी ते नरे भाई, करम का रे कमी ते नरे भाई। कोई लाख करे चतुराई, कोई लाख करे चतुराई, करम का रे कमी ते नरे भाई, करम का रे कमी ते नरे भाई, करम का ले कमी ते नरे भाई। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय, ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। When the child 5-year-old turns to his father, he says, Dad, why are you giving all the animals that are already sick? Why are you giving things that are not good? For the funeral, you all only wanted the best, not so? You got the best. You booked the best of everything that you could have think about, from the flowers and the arrangements and every single thing that you had to put together, you put the best. Like we say, don't wait for somebody to go to then do it. Enjoy them while they are alive. Give the best. Sometimes go the extra mile to make that person in your life happy, because you don't know when they will leave. Just like our brother. Today in our scripture, it is said, while the child would now become angry, the true way of... You know, there are many people in the world, when we fast, sometimes we fast without salt for a little 2 hours and 3 hours, and we say, yeah boy, I do a real yagya day. Or sometimes people hold a little 3 nights and a 5-night yagya, and we say, you know what, I do yagya, I sacrifice, I give up. You know what, God will really bless me, man. According to Katha Upanishad, a proper fast means, or proper yagya means, you give away everything that you have. You give away, and just understand, in a context, giving away doesn't mean that you have to physically pick it up and hand it out. But mentally and through the heart, you detach yourself totally. For this man, for this child's father, the right thing is to give away all the cows. Not keep back the one that you want to keep for yourself. Not selfishness. Give away the cows. It is said at that age, and there's an age to perform this vrat, this kind of vrat rather. You give away the cows. You give away whatever vehicles you have. You give away the attachments to the home. You release your children. Give them away. I don't mean tell them pack up and leg out the house. But mentally you allow them to live now. You give them away. You allow them to go on their own, and they start living on their own. You allow your spouse, because as I said, it should be at a particular age, maybe at the age of the sannyasa or the Vaishnava, where at that age it is said that individual must start detaching themselves from the things of the world. So you're living maybe in a home, but you're not attached to anything like love and jealousy and greed and temptations. Even your wife stands there or your husband stands there, and they're at a distance. because at the same time you're mentally detaching. And the son says, but Dad, isn't that the right thing to do? You're giving away the cows that are not so good. You're giving away these things that are not so good. Aren't you supposed to do a proper fast? And in the midst of an argument, the father says, okay, you want me to do the right thing? Well, I'm supposed to give you away too, so you leave and get out of here. He says, but Dad, if you're giving me away, who are you giving me to? The father says, I don't know. Go by, you know what? You are harassing me so much. Go by the God of death and stay there. You know, sometimes in a fit of anger, we could be in our best home, our best marriage, our best relationship. And in a fit of anger, sometimes we tell that person, go and don't ever talk to me for the rest of your life. It happens. Sometimes in the anger, we say, you know what, leave me alone and don't ever talk to me for the rest of your life. Be careful what you say. How do we say it? Be careful what you wish for sometimes. You might be in not a good mood, a good mind, a good energy, and you wish for something and then you regret to say, you know what, if I had only known. Today, friends, it is said that while the world will look on, the child says, Dad, so you tell me go by the God of death? You tell me leave? Okay, where to go? Father says, I don't know, find your way, go by the God of death and just go. So he leaves the earthly plane. He leaves and he walks and he searches and he's asking. And anybody sees, where is the God of death? Somebody show me, where is the God of death? And people are just saying, I don't know, I think south. God of death comes from the south. When somebody dies, there's an arrangement. There's a way they fix the body. There's a way you light the day and you allow that light to be facing in the southern part, because the God of death has come from the south to take that soul. At that point, he says the south, I will start going in the southern part of the universe. And when he starts to travel in the south, he inquires and he inquires until he speaks to the rishis and the saints and the munis, and he finds the home at the southern part in which Lord Yamraj stays. And he goes by the door and he knocks on the door and he calls out, Yamraj, Prabhu. And he's knocking on the door and nobody's coming. And he's asking now, if you don't come out, where will I go? What will I do if you're not there? And while he's standing and he's waiting, 1 day passes, 2 days pass, 3 days are about to come. And while the 3rd day is about to end, he's about to give up now. He says, look at how I have to live. The world is so unpredictable. Look at how we have to live. One moment, Bhaiji, we sit down and we laugh and we say, have a good time. And seconds after, tears flow. Such is the world. This song says it like this. Koi roye, koi gaye. Koi roye, some people cry. Koi gaye, some people laugh. It happens in a split of a moment. Life and death happens just like that. Some people smile now, and seconds after, somebody dies. And then what happens? Kaisa tera sansar malika, kaisa tera. Such is the world. Kaisa tera sansar. Such is the world. Listen, friends, bhaktas, devotees, loved ones, everyone, don't waste another moment. Hold on to your spouse. Hold on to your loved one. Learn from the world. Learn from mistakes. Tonight, if you're here and you have a mother, a father with you, a friend, a loved one, hold on to them. A companion, just hold them. They might say, what are you holding me for? Just say, I appreciate you. I love you. I appreciate you. There are so many people who's tuned in tonight. Whoever you may be and wherever you are in the world, if you're home, turn to your spouse. Turn to the people next to you. Turn to your children. Just give them a hug. Because this moment counts right now. Koi roye, koi gaye, kaisa tera sansar malik, kaisa tera sansar. Koi samajh nahi paaye, koi samajh nahi paaye, tera taro maan malik, kaisa tera sansar. पंछी से दो न जाए। क्या बात। कोई न जाने दर्द कैसे या सब मतलबाना कोई अंबरणी बहाए अंबरणी बहाए धरती पर एक बार मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार। जिनके संग तुम्हें रात बनाया फूल के संग जाले। जान कहा किसी जग बैठे पर बोलाई सब दुख जाता। पातर जहा मुस्काए पातर जहा मुस्काए ये रोही बहार मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार। कोई रोए कोई गाए कोई रोए कोई गाए कैसा तेरा संसार मालिक कैसा तेरा संसार मालिक कैसा तेरा कैसा तेरा कैसा तेरा। श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेवा। This child stands for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and he got up that hasn't come. And he's about to give up now. Imagine he got up that has rejected me. So where do I go? What will I do? And as he's about to turn around and leave now that place and that spot, the home of Lord Yamraj, when he turns around, he sees the God of that coming towards him now. 3 days have passed. The God of that is coming. And the God of that sees a little child in front of his doorway and he says, Hare Putra, what are you doing here? Go back to your home. I am not ready for you yet. When I am ready, you can't run. Go back to your home. He says, my father has disowned me. He has sent me by you. I am not going anywhere. I will stay here. The God of that says, why will you stay here? There's no place for you here. And that child says, well, where will I go? So now there's a little controversy and a little argument there. The child doesn't want to go. The God of death wants him to go. So what will happen? The God of death says, here's what? Let's make a deal. How much days you stay here for? 3 days? I will give you 3 bones. Take these 3 bones and you go with it. After that, don't come back. I will come for you when I'm ready. The child says, 3 bones? Okay. Alright, let me see. If God were to grant you 3 bones tonight, what will you ask for? Salim do ask. The God of that says, ask for 3 bones. He says, you know what, with my first bone, my father was always giving things where he was giving as though he was so cheap. He wanted to give the cheapest things to God. Bless my father with wealth and money and prosperity and a kingdom so he could give how much he wants and he could give enough. First gift, bless my father. Second gift, He thinks about it as a child. Think about this, eh? A 5-year-old child is thinking like this. A 5-year-old child today, if you ask them what they want, what are you going to ask for? Yeah, boy, an iPad, a PS4, some kind of game, a toy, something. But this 5-year-old child, he's inquisitive about life. He says, first, bless my father. Secondly, second question, while I'm alive, what to do in order to liberate myself? Because I don't want you to come for me and scare me. I will come to you, a 5-year-old child says. What to do so that I can come to you? And the God of that looks at him and he says, okay. He says, I will now narrate certain scriptures and texts that you will follow. One is the Garuda Puran to understand the rights and the wrongs. One, my friends, would be the Upanishads. And many of our scriptures. The child says, okay. And third one, he says, when I die, what happens after death? And the God of that says, wait a minute, how old are you again? 5 years? And you want to know what happens after death? You have a long life to live. What are you worried about that for? Come on, go back home now. But the child says, but you told me I have 3 wishes. I only asked for 2. My third, what do you do and what happens after death? And the God of death turns around and he tries to change the talk and he tries to change all the answers that he wants to give. He doesn't know how to explain to him. And this is how he says it in a little story. To those who might know this story, it's so beautiful. One day, 2 birds, they're flying in the skies. They're having a good time. They're playing with one another. They're flying and they're going from branch to branch and they're dancing together. And they're tweeting away. So beautiful. And while they're at the top of a tree, it is said suddenly one bird realizes that his partner, his loved one, simply falls off the branch and he starts to fall down to the ground. And he doesn't know what's going on, but he flies after his partner and he's going straight down to the ground. And as soon as he reaches his partner, hits the ground. And he goes by his partner and he takes his beak and he starts to nudge and he's looking at him. As though to say, Utna, wake up, get up. When you found Bhaiji, what did you say? Besides the tears and the cries and the screams, you walked up to him and I'm sure the first things, why? Wake up, please wake up. Just open your eyes. And that bird is begging his loved one. And while he's begging, that bird will never budge. It says this. Bahut dinon ke saathiya जुदा होंगे गुमसुमा करियो में आंसू आ रहे. One day your friend will close his eyes. One day our friend closed his eyes. One day our loved one will close their eyes and you will beg and you will shake them and you will scream and you will yell at them and you will pull them and you will push them and you will hit them and say, wake up. But everybody's day and time will come where they will never wake up. आज सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा रहे दुखियारे पंछी बिछुड़े जा रहे बहुत दिनों की साथिया जुदा होंगे गुमसुमा करियो में आंसू नहीं जानी आज पुराने सुख पूछो कौन है ये, क्यों रोते हैं। इस जग में ऐसी भी अभागे होते हैं। लूट गई फिर भी दिल का दर्द छुपा रहे। दूर के यारे पंछी बिछुरे जा रहे। आज सुनो हम गीत विदा का गा रहे। दूध के यारे पंछी बिछुरे जा रहे। दूध के यारे पंछी बिछुरे जा रहे। दूध के यारे पंछी बिछुरे। श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण। श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण। लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण। लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण. And the son would say now to the God of death, what happens at the time of death and what happens after that? And the God of death says, you know something, I'll give you a hint. He says when you're about to die, you know they say sometimes when some people go to sleep and they die in their sleep, people say, boy, he had a nice quiet death, boy. Or for example, in the case of our brother, it is said like a heart attack. Easy, they say, you know what, nah boy, that was too easy. But Prabhu says in Garuda Puran, every death is the same experience. You know what happens there? If a little red ants bite you, you say, ow. If a bachak bite you, you say, nah boy, that thing bite real hard, boy, ow. If one scorpion stings you, you say, what you say? If one scorpion stings you, you don't realize you're going to get poison or something, so God, I feel like we're dead. The pain of death, according to Garuda Puran, it is like the sting of 100 scorpions at once. And the moment the 100 scorpions or the pain of that 100 scorpions is felt, the soul does not have time to acknowledge about death and alive and anything like that. The soul pops out of the body. It is too much for the body to face that the soul pops out of the body. So the soul would have experienced it, the body would have experienced it, but we would say, but that was a fast death, boy. In seconds he just gone. But that person felt that sting and just popped out of the body. According to Garuda Puran and Kathopanishad, many things happen. But while the soul feels that and the soul is about to leave, it is said everybody waits for that moment in which they would beg to come back. Who wants to leave? Who wants to leave? Anybody want to leave here? People say, I love this world. I could buy something. I could smile. I have friends. I have wealth. I have a nice house. I have a nice car. I have comfort. Who wants to leave that behind? You know why we don't want to leave it? Because we are scared as to what will be in the after. We are scared as to what we will face in the hereafter. We are scared to die. How many people are scared to die? Come on now, rich man. How many people are scared to die? You are only scared when you're not prepared. You're only scared for an exam because you didn't study the night before. You're only scared for something that has to happen because you didn't know how to prep for it and probably you're not ready. But you must always be ready for life and death. It is something that you could tell everybody every single day and we still won't get it. You know why? Because we get caught up in life. We get caught up in the world. And before you know it, we forget about life and death. I was looking at a nice video just like 2 days ago. A nice little recording. The recording was where two girls were sitting on a cloud and they were looking down on the earth. It was so amazing. Two girls were sitting on a cloud and were looking down on the earth. It is as though the clouds was in the sky, like in the heavens or something, and they were looking down on the earth and they were having a conversation. And the conversation begins like this. Hey, my sister, look at that place down there. Have you ever been there? And the sister says, no, I haven't been there. And the first sister says, well, I have been there. down there is a place called Earth. And in that place called Earth, people get lost down there, you know that? And the other sister is saying, but so you've been there, tell me about it. You know, what do they do there? And the sister says, if I tell you, those people down there, sometimes they fool themselves. They feel they know everything and they create everything, but look at us here now looking down at them. And it was a whole different conversation. Think of life in a higher view. Imagine the devatas are above in the skies, they're waiting for us to merge with them. And we are playing around in the world and we have forgotten that we have to go there. We are lost in this world of Maya, illusions, temptations, anger, greed, lust, you name it. We think we own the world. Some people feel they're God themselves. Some people act as though they are God Almighty. Some people think they're better than people. Some people think that they will never die and they will live forever. And in the skies, God looking down at all of us and saying, when they will realize that this is just, it's just the play of the Lord. I'm waiting for you to come back to me. Don't do the bad things to go more and more in depth of the world and the universe. Come back to me, I'm waiting. Friends and bhaktas, one day we have to go back. And he went back. Why? Not to stay and suffer. You know, like they say, God takes the best first, right? So that they don't have to suffer. But we're still alive. And we have to do the best so that we too wouldn't suffer. We have to live the best and do the best and live a good life and do good things. People think right now in this moment and they don't realize a year from now, 5 years from now, if you do bad, you will go down. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Take care of your family. Take care of your loved ones. And the child receives the answers of death and hereafter. And when he hears what is about to happen, he says, oh, well, if the world will bring problems, I will not go back there. I want to stay with you, Yamraj. He says, me, you are a young child. Go back to the world. And you live there. And he drops on his knees and he begs. And while he begs, the God of death walks away. But you know who comes to take charge of that soul? The Son. Hara Hara Govinda Hare Gopala 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 Hara Hara Govinda Hare Gopala. Tonight, take charge of your life. It is up to you, not everybody else. Only you can make you happy. The world can surround you. They can guide you. They can help motivate you. They can help inspire you. They can help lift you. But only you can live your best life. Our brother lived the best life. He did what he had to do. He lived his best. Now what about you? We are alive. And we must not now just live in depression. But we must move on. We must stand strong. We must find it in ourselves. And only Bhagwan and God will give us that strength. And we need to stand strong in the world. Hara Hara Govinda Hare Gopala 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 Hara Hara Govinda Shri Ram Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Rama Shri Ram Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Ram Shri Ram Jai Rama Jaya Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram Vrindavan Bihari Lakhan ki. Tonight, my dear friends, it is said while the child sat there, Bhagwan Shri Krishna came and took him to the heavens. But tonight, we are alive and we need strength and we need motivation. And while we need it, take a moment tonight. I want all of us, we are about to join in our final one. But as we are about to join in this final one, it is said the sustainer of the entire universe is none other than Bhagwan Krishna. We say Shri Krishna Arpanam. And while we say Shri Krishna Arpanam, I want everybody, wherever you are in the world, take a moment to stop, to pause in whatever you're doing. Sit upright, close your eyes, forget the whole world. And in a moment of silence, think about your life, think about what you want, and aim for it. Aim to achieve it. And while we try to aim to achieve it, in a moment of silence, concentrate on the Divine Lord. When you think of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, tonight we are very lucky and we are blessed to have our beautiful Basuriwala. It is said Shri Krishna blows the Basuri and it charms the world. Our brother charmed the whole world. Up to now, people around the world can't believe it. Today, like the blue boy of Vrindavan, like the divine child of Vrajabhumi, Bhagwan Krishna, in all this silence, let the tune of the Basuri permeate your heart and say, Lord, tonight I surrender to you. I'm not saying I give up my life, but I surrender to you because you are in charge. You know when I hurt and why I hurt. You know when I will cry and why I will cry. You know my daily life and everything that happens and will happen in my life. And today, for a few moments of this silence, only with the Basuri being heard, let us concentrate on Shri Krishna. Shrimanarayan Narayan Narayan Shrimanarayan Narayan Narayan Lakshmi Narayan 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 Lakshmi Narayan 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 finally tonight. जब चारों तरफ अंधियारा, आशा का दूर किनारा और कोई न केवल आ रहा हो, फिर तो ही बेरा पार कर। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे है। तू चाहे तो सब कुछ कर दे, विष को भी अमृत कर दे है। पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा, पूर्ण कर दे सबकी आशा। जो भी तेरा ध्यान धरे, जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे। जय कृष्ण हरे, श्री कृष्ण हरे, दुखियों को दुख दूर करे। जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे, जय 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 कृष्ण हरे। श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण, श्रीमन्नारायण नारायण नारायण, लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण, लक्ष्मी नारायण नारायण नारायण। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम। श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय। कृष्ण